തിരുവനന്തപുരത്തെ എല്ലാ മാധ്യമ പ്രവർത്തകർക്കും സുഹൃത്തുക്കൾക്കും വിനീതമായ നമസ്കാരം. ഭാരതീയ ജനതാ പാർട്ടിയുടെ അഖിലേന്ത്യാ അധ്യക്ഷൻ ശ്രീ JP നദ്ദാജി അദ്ദേഹം പ്രസിഡന്റായി ചുമതലയേറ്റെടുത്തതിന് ശേഷം ആദ്യമായിട്ടാണ് കേരളത്തിൽ വരുന്നത്. നിയമസഭാ തെരഞ്ഞെടുപ്പിന്റെ തയ്യാറെടുപ്പുകളുടെ ഭാഗമായി ഇന്ന് തിരുവനന്തപുരത്തും നാളെ തൃശ്ശൂരിലും അദ്ദേഹത്തിന്റെ വിവിധങ്ങളായിട്ടുള്ള പരിപാടികളുണ്ട്. ഇന്ന് 12:30ക്ക് ശേഷം അദ്ദേഹം തിരുവനന്തപുരം വിമാനത്താവളത്തിൽ വരികയും അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് വിപുലമായിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു വരവേൽപ്പാണ് പാർട്ടി പ്രവർത്തകരും അനുഭാവികളും തിരുവനന്തപുരത്ത് നൽകിയത്. വളരെ വിശദമായി കേരള രാഷ്ട്രീയത്തെക്കുറിച്ചും ദേശീയ രാഷ്ട്രീയത്തെക്കുറിച്ചും അദ്ദേഹം സംസാരിക്കും. ഇന്നും നാളെയുമായിട്ട് സമൂഹത്തിലെ വിവിധ വ്യക്തികളുമായിട്ട് അദ്ദേഹം ആശയവിനിമയം നടത്തുന്നുണ്ട്. പാർട്ടിയിലെ വിവിധ ഘടകങ്ങളിലെ യോഗങ്ങളിൽ അദ്ദേഹം സംബന്ധിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. കേരളത്തിലെ ഭാരതീയ ജനതാ പാർട്ടിയുടെ ദേശീയ ജനാധിപത്യ സഖ്യത്തിന്റെ തെരഞ്ഞെടുപ്പ് പ്രചാരണത്തിന്റെ ഒരു ഔപചാരികമായിട്ടുള്ള തുടക്കം എന്നുള്ള നിലയിലാണ് ഈ 2 ദിവസത്തെ യാത്ര പ്ലാൻ ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നത്. നാളെ തൃശ്ശൂരിൽ വലിയ പൊതുസമ്മേളനം കഴിഞ്ഞതിന് ശേഷമായിരിക്കും അദ്ദേഹം മടങ്ങിപ്പോകുന്നത്. നിങ്ങളുടെ മുമ്പിൽ അദ്ദേഹത്തെ കേരളത്തിലെ ഭാരതീയ ജനതാ പാർട്ടിക്ക് വേണ്ടി ഞാൻ സ്വാഗതം ചെയ്യുകയാണ്. ഇവിടുത്തെ ഓരോ മാധ്യമപ്രവർത്തകരെയും ഈ പരിപാടി റിപ്പോർട്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ വന്നിട്ടുള്ള എല്ലാ സുഹൃത്തുക്കളെയും ഭാരതീയ ജനതാ പാർട്ടി കേരള ഘടകത്തിന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് ഞാൻ ഹാർദമായിട്ട് സ്വാഗതം ചെയ്യുന്നു.
Our State President, Shri Surendran Ji, and senior leaders on the dais and dear friends. I've come on a 2-day tour to Kerala, God's own land. The purpose is to understand the organizational activities of the party and keeping in view of the ensuing elections, how do we strategize, go forward. In this 2-day tour, there are some organizational meetings which are going to take place and some related to interaction with the public. One public meeting will be there, and through press conference also meeting all of you and trying to understand the situation. I'm also going to meet the allies partners individually and collectively. There will be a core committee meeting, a national office bearers meeting. So it's a very packed 2-day tour of Kerala which I'm going to undertake. Here when I come to Kerala, the recently held local body elections and the results, BJP has emerged as the third principal pole in the Kerala politics. The good work done by the dynamic Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, the clean administration given by him, the effective administration given by him, has been widely appreciated by the people of Kerala. I find I have been here as in charge of Vidhan Sabha elections in 2016, and practically I visited every subdivision at that point of time. The warm welcome which I got today and the response which I could see and how people are responding, I find a sea change in the positivity towards the Bharatiya Janata Party, which we are going to try to see to it, galvanize it in terms of votes. And there is, I find that BJP is going to gain support from the people of Kerala as far as the ensuing Vidhan Sabha election is concerned. People are disgusted with the present government. It is a government full of corruption, rampant corruption. May it be gold smuggling case, the irregularities in the Life Mission, the Sprinkler data scam, the K-phone scam, the e-mobility scam, and KIIFBI has certainly embarrassed the people of Kerala. And so there is rampant corruption. In every project, the government of the day and the ministers have got only one agenda: how to fatten their purses. This is going on here, which I would like to share with you. Another thing which I would like to say is that in the gold scam, the involvement of the Chief Minister office has really embarrassed the self-respecting Malayalis, not only in Kerala but world over. It has given a very bad name, and Pinarayi has lost his credibility also. The investigation which is going on is going to throw further light, and many ministers are going to, many ministers are going to come to light in this. The same way, it is a disgrace to the constitutional post when Sri Ramakrishnan, the speaker, the speaker is involved in the gold scam case. We all know that it was initially Pinarayi himself who said that the central agencies should come and investigate. And when the heat of it reached the CMO office, he turned out against it. This is the situation which we have to understand, and we have to, and Bharatiya Janata Party has exposed it. We will see to it that in future also it is exposed to the maximum. People should come to know that how these leaders have been behaving irresponsibly and giving a bad name to the state also, and to the Malayali culture. The pride of Malayalis is also jeopardized. I also find that LDF is systematically, under the leadership of Pinarayi Vijayan, Pinarayi Vijayan, is attacking the constitutional bodies. The resolution against the Auditor, Controller and Auditor General itself shows that there is, and this is very dangerous to the democratic setup, when you attack the constitutional bodies, which is going on. The same way, I find that keeping rules aside, more than 3 lakh appointments have been done. And this is a backdoor entry which is going on. And even the Kerala Public Service Commission has become a recruiting ground for CPM, which is to be understood. And all this is going to make a very difficult times as far as the Kerala polity is concerned in coming times. So we have to see in that terms also, in that way also. The involvement of Swapna Suresh and the appointment, how it was done in IT department, the involvement of the Principal Secretary of Chief Minister's Office, all this show that certainly the corruption has got the patronage of the highest office, which we have to understand. As far as the COVID management is concerned, I've been a health minister. I've come here. I was here during the flood times also. I gave them maximum support also. I supported for that Nipah virus also. So I know the infrastructure and the Kerala's health capacity and how to respond. But I'm sorry to say that because of the ineffective political leadership today, half of the cases of COVID are from Kerala. And no strategy is being adopted till date. There's a whopping increase in 12%, which is worrisome, and one has to understand this. And no strategy is being adopted. I'm saying this with responsibility, but because the Nipah virus, when it broke out, I was in World Health Assembly at that point of time. And I responded from there only and saw to it that a special task team comes, the Government of India's team comes, we gauge ourselves, we do the best. And even after that, I came for the press conference here. And I said that whatever the support the state government needed, I gave it. But I'm sorry to say that today, because of the state's political leadership, the ineffectivity, the vision, lacking vision, COVID management, when in the country our the mortality rate is very low, the recovery rate is very good, the incident rate is within control. Half of the cases are from Kerala. That is what we have to understand. This is how it's working. I also, in this election also, we are going to make it very clear, and this people of Kerala also know, that UDF and LDF, both are two sides of the same coin. Both are corrupt. Both have lost their credibility. There is no vision for the people of Kerala. It is the industrious people of Kerala who are running the show. In the sense, they are to be appreciated. But the leadership is not able to give the direction. Both are corrupt governments. Now you talk about Oommen Chandy, involved in solar case, involved in even in the bar bribe case, and his very good friend Ramesh Chintala, he is also involved. So it is these both LDF and UDF, both are two sides of the same coin, and both are corrupt, both are visionless, both are only power seekers for the sake of power. And you see, now in this election, a very interesting thing is going to happen. At one point of time, the election will take place in Kerala and in West Bengal. In Kerala, they will be fighting with each other, and in West Bengal, they will be going together as an ally partner. This is ideological bankruptcy. This is ideological bankruptcy. This only shows that they are power seekers. They have got nothing to do for the welfare of the people of the state and country. Now, if I talk about the IUML, IUML, Mr. Ibrahim Kunju and Mr. K.M. Shahi, both the heat is reaching them also as far as the Palar Vittam bridge is concerned, construction of bridge is concerned. So, and you see, they in the government, they have lost the moral authority when they are in government, because each one is corrupt. So they cannot stop. What happened in UPA? They could not stop because each was involved in it. The same way here also, LDF also, UDF also, and UDF partners also. All this is going on here in a big way. Shouldn't say, but now Oommen Chandy has been brought to the forefront. We all know about the sex scandal also. This, you see, that shows that Congress leadership even today has not learnt any lesson, and they are not serious about the people, about the Malayali culture, about the pride. They are only power seekers, how to come to power. I'm sorry to say that Congress has backstabbed the Ayyappa devotees also. Till date, Rahul Gandhi has not spoken even one word on Sabrimala issue. I am told today that they are going to come with a resolution. On one hand, when the agitation was going on, not even a single case was registered, not even a single statement came. Height of hypocrisy. Surendran is sitting here, 256 cases he is facing today also. Hundreds of workers were arrested. We fought it. Congress did not speak even a word. So this is the situation. And now they talk about that they are going to bring an ordinance or a resolution and see to it. This is what I call a height of hypocrisy. Power seekers, no ideological commitment with the people, with the sentiments of the people, with the sentiments of the Kerala people. As far as Prime Minister Modi ji is concerned, I can quote many examples. Sabrimala issue, the stampede took place. At that time, the Prime Minister did not have the time to come and meet people. But I remember it was in which place where the fire Puttigal, some 300 people. I was here in Kerala itself. Prime Minister sent me. Within 3 hours, I was there on the spot. And within 3 hours, he came from Delhi. He deputed me for 1 week. He brought the All India Institute of Medical Sciences best team. They were there in Trivandrum Medical Hospital. I stayed here for 1 week and saw to it that best possible medical facilities are given. I'm saying all this because this shows the sensitivity of NDA government, sensitivity of our leader Narendra Modi ji. Same, 2 incidents took place, Sabrimala case and Puttangal fire broke out. Within 3 hours I was here. Within 3 hours Prime Minister Modi ji was here, and he deputed me for 1 week. Team of All India Institute of Medical Sciences came along with Prime Minister Modi, and we saw to it that best possible medical facilities given. This is how we look towards the people of Kerala and take care. As far as the financial part of support is concerned, the National Highway projects, 65,000 crores have been given for National Highway projects. 1,957 crore for Kochi Metro development. 12,544 crore for local self-government. 1,738 for disaster management. 607 crores for health. And in this health, the increase is 137% as far as health infrastructure is concerned. The same way, 405 crores for judiciary, 181 crores for higher education, 1,086 crore for agriculture, and of course, a special assistance of 1,100 crore. So, Kerala is kept in the mainstream as far as the support from the Government of India is concerned. The Alapula bypass has been completed. The same way, the central government has allocated 19,891 crores to reduce the state's revenues deficit budget. So this is how we don't. It is collective federalism, cooperative federalism. We believe in that, and we are in government. We may not be in government, but the support to each government has been given. And here I'm trying to put forward in terms of quantifying them how our Prime Minister has taken care of the people of Kerala. I'm happy that in local elections, we have come in full majority in Palakkad municipality and a dozen of other Gram Panchayats also. Slowly we are going forward, and in coming times in this Vidhan Sabha elections, we will go for a big leap. That is how we are trying to strategize. We need your support also. I've talked in terms of the people of Kerala need an alternative, and Bharatiya Janata Party is working in that direction. Lot of support is there, I could see. We have to galvanize that support and bring it to the maximum. That is what I'd like to say. Thank you very much for giving me. Any questions I can take?
Rahul Gandhi, in an indirect attack to Prime Minister Modi today, in a tweet, has said that why do so many dictators have names that begin with M?
Why?
Do so many dictators have the names that begin with M? Like he was indirectly referring to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So how do you react to this?
See, is it necessary to take Rahul seriously? His approach, whatever has been, in the Indian politics, everybody knows, need not to react.
Nadaji, you said UDF, Congress and left are two sides of the same coin. But still, you may be having an enemy number one when it comes to Kerala.
Sorry?
You said Congress and left are two sides of the same coin. But who is an enemy number one?
Both.
Equally.
Equally, because I'll tell you, the moment BJP becomes stronger, it's a fixed match. Both come together to see that BJP is defeated. So for us, both are, I'll not use the word enemy, ideologically not aligned, ideologically different.
I asked this
Because
question.
in democracy, we may agree to differ. So that difference should be there. So enemy word I don't use, but yes, as far as the ideological part is concerned, I told you, their ideology, they don't have any ideology. Here in the same election, they are fighting against each other. There in West Bengal, they are fighting together. In the same time, at the same time, same political parties are behaving two different ways. When BJP comes to power, both join hands, then there is a fixed match to defeat BJP. So for us, ideologically, we understand that both of them are equally not conducive to the ideology and for the welfare of the people for which we propagate.
I asked this question because in an election is a war, and in a war you have an enemy. You have to identify your number one enemy. So, according to you, there is no number one.
Both are number one.
Sir, during Sabarimala stare, your leaders also promised, lot of things. That then party president Amit Shah, he said in Pathanamthitta that, we will find an everlasting solution. 2 years passed since then. Your president himself is, involved in this case. What you did all these 2 years?
See, as far as the legal action is concerned, it is not very much in your hand. It is a legal process which has to take place. We are fighting out those legal processes.
Nadaji, your visit is part of Mission Kerala. Here.
Sorry.
What are your expectations in assembly elections?
I am very confident and I am very optimistic that we will be giving very good results. And very good support is going to come. And it will take little more time for me to come out as far as the quantification is concerned.
Do you think that your organization, your Kerala unit, is totally sufficient for election preparation?
They are sufficient, they are capable, and I have full confidence in them, and they will deliver good results. See, there is a difference between BJP party functioning and other political parties. In other political parties, most of them are family parties. So you have to toe the line within the system, and however intelligent or unintelligent the leader may be, you have to toe the line. That is the dynasty party's function. Then you talk about people who are in the ideological part of parties which have got some ideological background. There also, they are so strict in discipline in the sense that they don't allow the democratic system to function. BJP is a family where there is a full scope of putting their views across. But everybody in the family, we work in a cooperative manner, a coordinated leadership. You are talking about you took the name of one of our leaders. She has met me also. We have taken. She has not met me, but my general secretary, and everything will be continually taken care of in our party. And this is, you see, we give space. Interactions take place, but this is not called factionalism. There is no groupism. We all work together. Somebody's sentiments are hurt. We are there to hear. We are there to give healing touch also. And it happens in family. And
So
it
you
is
told
such a big family.
So you told that there is no primary enemy, I mean, both are equally enemies for you. But there is a talk that there is a nexus going on between the BJP and LDF in Kerala to ensure the winning of Pinarayi Vijayan government once again. And one more thing, you
There
told-
is a
nexus, there is a,
understanding.
yeah, understanding between the Kerala BJP and LDF to ensure the winning of LDF
LD
government once more.
LDF?
Yes, sir.
No, we don't believe in such underhand dealings. Ours is a very straight ideological party which works on ideological issues.
And one more thing, you were telling also that BJP supported the Puttingal issue as well as the Sabrimala issue within hours. But there is a strike going on, the farmers protesting in front of the parliament or near to the parliament since several months. Within hours you reach Kerala, but this issue cannot be solved. How come?
I didn't get your first part of the question, but second part I could understand that is what of the farmers' agitation you are talking.
I was telling that you will be able to resolve, I mean, you were able to support the people of Kerala in the Puttingal issue as well as Sabrimala issue. But you were not able to solve the problem in front of the parliament, even after several.
You see, every issue is different, but still, as far as the farmers' agitation is concerned, we are very clear that we want to resolve the farmers' issue and ready for talks time and again, whenever, wherever they want. We have given them the proposal still stands. And whatever happened on 26 January, it was the sympathetic attitude because they are our people. That is why the police action did not take place. And we all understand that the government dealt it with, in the sense that tried to see to it that no untoward incident takes place. So that is our attitude. And even today, on one phone call, we are ready to resolve the problem. And for that, there are discussions going on. But yes, they have their own problems. Sometimes they agree, there are many organizations, some organizations agree, some disagree, they don't come to any conclusion, things like that go on. But yes, we respect farmers, they have a very positive contribution which they have done, but at the same time, things have to be solved by discussion, and government is ready for it.
Pop singer,
This issue has now taken an international stage with many of the international celebrities even meeting and demanding justice for farmers. So is the central government and the party in any way trying to resolve this issue at the earliest? Is there any other way?
You see, this country is very safe in the hands of Prime Minister Modi. And the common man knows. As far as the tweets and other things are concerned, Ministry of External Affairs has reacted on it and they have given their view on it. We feel that as a countryman and as a leader, and Prime Minister, he has taken note of it, he has taken note of the farmers' issues, and it is our internal issue which we are going to resolve.
But when we are trying to solve, I'm just adding one question, but when we are trying to solve, why is there excessive force being exerted in the...
It is up to them to think. It is up. Ministry of External Affairs has reacted on it. You see, it's a democratic country, and there are many forces which work accordingly. So it is their work which they do. See, Ministry of External Affairs has given the reaction, and I would like to say to it that that is the reaction which we have. She will be. She will be. That will take care. Very frankly, the experience which we have about Congress is what they say they don't do. So how to react and what to react? We will cross the bridge when it comes to it. As far as BJP is concerned, right from very beginning, we were very clear about our stand on Sabrimala, and that remains as it is. Our viewpoint is that respecting judiciary is something different, but at the same time, legal course, what best can be there, that party will think. But as far as Sabrimala is concerned, our stand remains as it is.
Sir, how would you going to resolve the Shobha Surendran issue?
It's not an issue.
Will she?
It's not an issue.
If so, will she attend the tomorrow's party meeting?
Sorry.
Will she be a part of the President's Kerala Yatra?
She will be here. She will be participating in all the programs. I think from the national president, this question, I've told in many terms, I think that is enough. No. Rules are being framed. Rules are being framed, and as soon as the rules come, it will be operational. No, nothing. It was not slow. The work was not being accomplished because of the corona at that point of time. But now the work has started.
Nadaji,
I think I've been able to not only answer once the same question, but many times the same question.
Nadaji, you are raising solar sexual case against Umman Jani, but your National Vice President Abdullah Kudi is also involved in the case. Is CBI ready to take this case?
You see, law takes its own course. We respect law.
Nadaji, former Principal Secretary of Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan, M. Shivashankar has got bail today. What Congress alleges is that it's an understanding between, the BJP and LDF. So what will be your reaction on this?
See, on legal issues, we don't react. We respect law. We respect judiciary. But at the same time, the agencies, they are working. It is their job to see to it.
At the same time, Congress alleging that in Lavalin case also BJP supporting Lavalin case. Case against Chief Minister. So in that case also Congress alleging that BJP is supporting them.
We don't support or oppose any case. Let it be very clear. We always come out with the case, see to it that the law and the law enforcing agencies should take a stand and do what the law agencies should do.
Will CBI take over this case?
Will?
Solar case. Will CBI take over the solar case?
It is for the state government. They have to propose.
State already handed over the case to CBI. So
Government of India will take note of it.
Okay. Ji, one more question. Your former state president, P.S. Sridharanpilla, once in a meeting has said that Sabrimala issue is a golden opportunity. So already... former state president Sridharanpilla once in a meeting said that Sabrimala issue is a golden opportunity. So will already the Congress party started focusing on Sabrimala issue when elections around the corner? What will be the stand of BJP in this assembly election with related to Sabrimala?
Our stand is going to remain the same, number one. Number two, we don't look in terms of this is an issue which is going to help in election, this is an issue which is not going to help in election. We don't look in those terms. What is good for the country, what is good for the polity, what is good for the state of Kerala, that is our stand where we take, and we stick to it. I think there are many issues. I don't know about that case. I don't know about it, frankly speaking.
Nadaji.
Nirmala ji has given a very correct answer about it. Nirmala ji.
Nadaji.
Thank you very much.
One more question.
I think.
One more question.
You see, it is, you can't have there is a broad spectrum in which we look. Nature of the constituency, people available in that constituency, social groups active in that constituency, who can give a better result, and then keeping all these factors, we decide about the Kerala. Of course, why not?
A few days back.
All sections of the society.
Nadaji, few days back, the Prime Minister has intervened the dispute between the Jacobites and Orthodox issue. Did you have a plan, any central legislation against the current Supreme Court verdict?
The Orthodox Jacobites, these priests were meeting Narendra Modi at Delhi. So they're asking, is there any legal or endeavor?
Did you have plan any central legislation against the
No, at
current
this, the
Supreme Court
point of
verdict?
time, the judiciary is going to decide. We respect the judiciary, number one. But our intention is Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas. Thank you, I suppose. Thank you, Madam.
ശ്രീ നദ്ദാജിയോടൊപ്പം ഇപ്പോൾ ഈ പത്രസമ്മേളനത്തിൽ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നത് ഭാരതീയ ജനതാ പാർട്ടിയുടെ കേരളത്തിന്റെ പ്രഭാരിയായിട്ടുള്ള ശ്രീ CP രാധാകൃഷ്ണൻജി, അതുപോലെ സഹപ്രഭാരിയായിട്ടുള്ള ശ്രീ സുനിൽ കുമാർ കാർക്കള, അതുപോലെ ഭാരതീയ ജനതാ പാർട്ടിയുടെ ദേശീയ വക്താവ് ശ്രീ ഗോപാൽകൃഷ്ണ അഗർവാൾ, എല്ലാവരെയും ഞാൻ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് മുമ്പിൽ പരിചയപ്പെടുത്തുകയാണ്. ഒരിക്കൽ കൂടി എല്ലാവർക്കും നന്ദി അറിയിച്ചോളും.
Satisfy your question.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, sir.